Adam, what's up, buddy? Senior Bowl week feels good that we
Senior
are
Bowl
out
week,
here.
man.
Yeah.
You ready to talk about some Senior Bowl? What have you heard on the Senior Bowl, honestly, just off the rip here? Ollie Gordon is a name that I'm kind of getting a lot of buzz from, man.
Dude, I was looking at Cody's tweets. This was from yesterday, right? Obviously, the measurables came in, and that was the hot topic. 233 pounds. People were like, "Oh, he's too fat."
I seen that, man.
Little bit of a disagreement. Somebody out there thought he was about 200 pounds when he had his great 2023 season. That was not factual at all. The man to me has always been about 210, 215.
Yeah,
probably
210, I
220.
think ish, right? Yep.
Yeah. But the boy, he looking thick out there. Cody Carpentier comped him to Najee Harris, but better. Like better. Not Najee Harris now, but Najee Harris.
Najee Harris maybe rookie
his
year?
Senior Bowl rise. Yeah,
there
Najee
we
Harris
go.
rookie year. There you go.
Najee Harris rookie year. People forget this because like Fat Najee gets a lot of knock, Mike. But go check out if you don't remember, the rookie year Najee was fucking crazy good. Now yards per carry weren't good, but he got 90 catches, so dude was killing it, man.
I got to give a shout out to DB too because he posted the Discord. I think it was like last week. He was like, "Anybody got a question? It might have been on a show. Oh, it was on Fizz and I show. Any hope for Ollie Gordon? Do we get 2023 Ollie Gordon or do we get 2024 Ollie Gordon? So far, so good, DB. All right, you might be the prophet. All right, because this was before the Senior Bowl weigh-ins, before the Senior Bowls. Right now, he's looking pretty good, man.
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything bad. Even Theo from Player Profiler out there saying he's moving well at 233 pounds. Looks fluid, looks dynamic. So,
I mean, and this is also one of those things that I think backs have been doing. I don't know if they needed to or not, but like, remember they were worried about Travis Etienne in the water weight, right? Like, I mean,
you got like 220, wasn't he?
These guys, they put on a little extra weight. They're trying to bell cow it up, but I don't know. I'm not really worried about any of those narratives either, to be honest, frankly.
Side note from Ollie Gordon, all these Senior Bowl measurables came in with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of thick boys, a lot of real girthy backs.
A lot of girthy backs. Fair.
Girthy backs. I didn't know if girthy backs was going to be the phrase I was going to utter tonight, but here we are.
Yeah.
We need a song. Fizz, do you think you can make us a song called Girthy Backs?
Girthy Backs. What about let's talk a little more of you though, right? Less Ollie Gordon.
Go, man. All right, so not Senior Bowl. For whatever reason, Luke Lachey decided you want to go to the Shrine Bowl. There's a little controversy too about Jim Nagy and the Senior Bowl, kind of dunking on the Shrine Bowl and getting some blowback about it.
Right.
Speaking of girthy backs, girthy blowback. Jesus Christ. Let's go right off the fucking rip here. But he went to the Shrine Bowl, which was fine. It just kind of Shrine Bowl always kind of goes under the radar, right? Like you thought it'd be a little bit more hyped up this year with the Sanders boys there at the Shrine Bowl.
Yep.
Didn't hear a lot about it, but the one thing I did hear, because when it comes to Iowa tight ends, I'm gonna go out to just say it. I'm him. All right, I'm him when it comes to letting you know who the Iowa tight ends. And this has been my man for the longest time, so I'm keeping track. Luke Lachey went out there and fucking dominated practice. Uncoverable, 6'6", 250, runs like a deer, runs routes extremely well. He can block. He can do it all. High points the football. This is all shit I've known. It's nice to see the draft cycle start to pick up on this, that Luke Lachey is going to be a fucking problem. So when Maddie and I did 4D last night, recorded it, we're talking about the tight end position, dead last, because tight ends don't matter in fantasy football for the most part. I'm still going to die on that hill. When we gave the tight ends their 5 minutes of fame compared to every other position we took forever to go through, Luke Lachey, welcome back to my tight end one. Pretty easy, and I'm going to die on this hill. So you guys can all fucking fight me. This is the man.
Tight end one. Here we are.
Back to tight end one, man.
Well,
here were the things that I threw down about Luke Lachey just quickly, Adam, on him. He suffered an ankle fracture on a hip drop tackle the year before. And if we just kind of remember, as fantasy football players, our offensive skill players who have suffered that same type of injury on that same type of tackle, they usually take about a year before they're back to normal. Tony Pollard did it. Mark Andrews did it. You saw it with Tank Dell when he fractured his ankle. This kind of thing takes a little bit of time to come back for. Apparently, shattering some bones right where your foot connects to your leg is kind of a big fucking deal. It does take a little bit of time to kind of gain back what you were in the past. And guess what, Adam? It's a little bit over a year now since Luke Lachey suffered that injury. And he's kind of back. He's back, like John Wick. I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm thinking I'm back. All right, well, Mike, there you have it. Tight end one. And I'll just say this. People were at around this time, honestly, not really buying quite all the way into the Sam Laporta hype Mike started to spew this time of year in that class. But, hey, I'm not really here for that debate. All right, let's talk somebody else that I was not expecting to talk. And I know your affinity for this team, if you want to, helmet scouts. Let's talk a little Jaylen Noel, huh?
He is the talk of the Senior Bowl. I see our man
Absolutely.
Ebro down there talking
Crazy.
about uncoverable. I did see the day before, right? So I just want to preface this. Thor put out that there is no Lad McConkey, there is no Tank Dell. There's not somebody down there at the Senior Bowl right now just
going crazy, right?
Embarrassing DBs in one-on-ones. But Jaylen Noel...
Unless it's Shiloh.
That's called getting embarrassed. All right, getting embarrassed. But I did see that Jaylen Noel is starting to build some hype. Now, my only reservation. Okay, I shouldn't say only reservation because I am. I'm
about to say only reservation from a Cyclone is just can't be true.
Okay, he is under 5'10". He's 5'9" and 3/4, which you might just round up. But I'm just saying, if you want to go look at the historical profiles of wide receivers who are legitimately under 5'10", we don't round up. If we actually just take them as 5'9", I'm not saying that quarter inch matters, but just looking at some of the wide receivers that have come out recently, apparently it does matter, right? Like Jalen Waddle hit 5'10", so that was good. We can cross him off the list. The only other ones I could really give you, Tank Dell, who was a later round pick, which maybe Jaylen Noel might be a second-round guy. I don't think he's a first-round guy, for fuck's sake. Please don't. But he might be a second-round guy. But Tank Dell was a later-round pick that was kind of handpicked by C.J. Stroud. But the benefit of him, like I brought up the point, he was absolutely embarrassing DBs, like when he got on the field in these all-star game practices.
Yeah.
Jaylen Noel's not embarrassing them, but he's definitely dominating them. He's got some things going for him. The only other wide receiver that people will point to that in the 5'9" bucket, like this was a hit, was Zay Flowers. But then I go back to the process play of wide receivers in Dynasty football, Adam, and if you're drafted in the first round, you matter to me and I'm interested in you. We kind of have that cutoff of top 50 picks. So it remains to be seen. Maybe Jaylen Noel
I think Eric's right. I mean, you got to know that quarter inch matters a little bit,
Yeah, I've been told it matters quite a bit. You know what I mean? I like to say that I'm, 4 1/4 inches big. If you know what I mean. That quarter inch matters. 4, but like give me that quarter. I'm like, well, you're on your way to 5.
Yep.
You're on your way to average, bro.
On his way to 5'10",
It's still early in this. The big problem I have is the Senior Bowl. We know this wide receiver class is pretty shit. So
yeah, relatively, especially to last year's, right? I mean, last year's was just fucking crazy.
We've talked about this many times before, Adam. Is he actually really that good, or is he just at 2 a.m. final call, last call at the bar, you'll do, right? Is he actually really just a 5 or a 6 that's looking pretty good because all the other options are shit?
It's winter, man. It's been ice cold for a month. Nobody's at the bar tonight, so that's kind of what it is,
We've been hibernating.
It's too early for me to call, to be completely honest. It's not 2 a.m. yet, I'll let you know closer to 2 a.m.,
Hey, once upon a time, Velus Jones was nominating Senior Bowl practice, so let's just throw that one out there, too.
Well, I mean...
throw a little cold water on all the hype.
A little Roman Wilson last year, right? He basically didn't see the kid all year this year, so there's that, too. But
sorry, Eric, those aren't we're not talking about hand size because those are mitts. You know what I mean?
Let's talk another Jalen. About Jalen Milroe. What are you hearing so far?
Not real good things.
Yeah. He's made a couple solid throws, but honestly, I've heard more on the negative than on the positive, to be quite frank, right?
Yeah, I read a tweet that said it's a lot of what you saw at Alabama, right? The athleticism shows up. The moments of competent throws show up. but for the most part, it's inconsistency, it's inaccuracy, it's bad ball placement. It's just not really looking comfortable playing the quarterback position, which sucks at him because to really save this class, like we needed somebody like Jalen Milroe to like ball out at this kind of Senior Bowl thing and be that riser and like, hey, Milroe might go in the first round. Like that's what we needed. And we're not really getting it. Like we needed that dynamic athlete at the quarterback position to really kind of raise up the level of the rest of the class. And so far it's not looking great, which sucks. It really does. I was rooting for him. Maybe by the combine he's got it figured out. Like there's still hope. There's still hope. Like maybe he goes out and he puts on a show at the combine. Like we've seen this happen before too. So
Sure.
You know, once upon a time at this point in the draft cycle, nobody really believed in Anthony Richardson. Right now, we didn't get a Senior Bowl performance, but then showed up at the combine and was like, holy shit, this dude's going to top 5 pick. So it can happen. It can still happen, but so far it's kind of sad trombone-y.
Yeah, I think he's just going to be one of these players that I'm paying a lot of attention to as we're getting closer and closer to the draft. And for the drafts we do, Mike, and Dynasty, where we're drafting before the NFL draft, it's going to really come down to, am I seeing a lot of this guy in the first round or two in mocks? If that's the case, Mike, this is the type of profile, because he's so athletic, I am just shooting my shot. I don't care. Like it's okay if I miss, honestly, probably where he's going to go. If he's not looking like he's going to go in round 1 or round 2, I'm probably going to tap out early as far as, before the NFL draft. Now, if I'm drafting after the NFL draft, we'll know. But that's really what's going to come. That's really what's going to come down to for me. Is he drafted in the first 2 rounds? If he's not, I'm not going to care.
So the real lazy comp is going to be the other Jalen who went to Alabama once upon a time, right? Rocking his jersey, man. Super Bowl, second Super Bowl for him.
There you
Stopped
go.
out in the man. But I this shouldn't be hot takey. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with me, but maybe it's fucking YouTube. So you guys like to argue with me about best flavor of water sometimes, it feels. But I would say Jalen Hurts was a much more established passer at this point in the draft cycle than Jalen Milroe. So it's making it like real hard to kind of wrap my mind around, like, God, I hope he gets second round draft capital. If he goes in the 3rd or 4th round, I don't give a shit. I really don't. Like historically, the hits of those quarterbacks is abysmal. It's terrible. Kellen Mond was athletic. He just sucked at quarterback.
Harry Snowman knows what's up. Appreciate the honesty, Harry. It's okay. This is a safe place, believe it or not. So you're good here.
Safe place. Safe
Mike,
space.
let me just ask you then real quickly. Jackson Dart. Hearing anything there?
It hasn't been like this real solid drumbeat of like he's fucking amazing and you guys need to pay attention. But I haven't really heard anything on the negative side, which can be a good thing, right? Like if people aren't out there just dogging him because how terrible he looks, that's actually kind of a positive. Now, unfortunately, with a lot of these like quarterbacks, I'm like hearing like this thing about this Canadian kid. Like maybe we got the next Tyson Bagent on our hands, like unheralded out of fucking nowhere.
Right. Yep.
DB's getting fucking excited because he's like Canadian quarterback.
Oh my God, is it real?
Sign me up. Right. And then you got the bullshit reports out there about Dylan Gabriel throwing like 99 miles an hour or whatever bullshit that was. That's cap. That's big cap. That's like one of those big ones that you see sometimes at sporting events. That was horseshit. But all's been kind of quiet on the Jackson Dart front. So I guess if you're a real big truther fan, you probably wanted more. If you're a hater, you don't got much to hate on. So we just kind of let it play out.
I feel like this might be one of those things though where the position is lacking. So it sounds more positive than others, if that makes sense, right? Almost the same conversation as, earlier when we're talking with Noel. Like it could just be that this is the most positive of the position at the moment. So you're like, okay, all right. It could be.
I did just see something that Louis Riddick said he's very impressed by Jackson Dart at the Senior Bowl. So if you want to take that little nugget away.
There you go.
I just haven't heard any of like my go-tos. And by my go-tos, I mean Thor and Debro. Those are my boys. I ride with them forever. I haven't heard really anything from them on that front.
Let's call it what it is.
Maybe the algorithm ain't showing me the shit. I don't know.
And let's call it what it is, too. We'll know a lot more. The Senior Bowl actually takes place Saturday, right? We'll know a lot more by the this time next week, as far as if they've actually raised their stock enough to know if we're gonna like, all right, are we talking bumping them into rounds where we weren't thinking of before, right? So yeah. And Eric puts Milrose. I'm thinking Malik Willis. It'll be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see.